Welcome back to Digital Learning. I'm Connie Kolosey, the Director of Media, Text, and Digital Learning, and we are here today with Britt Moseley and Dennis Russo. And we are looking at beyond the classroom resources, things that your child, or possibly even you, might want to access from home. And these are things that are available to you 24/7 from any device that has internet access. And when we took the break, I was talking to Dennis and asked him to show us, we were looking at Khan Academy, and I asked him to just give us a quick glimpse at the kind of tutorial a child might find on Khan Academy.
All right, yes, and so I logged in as my daughter, 5th grade daughter, and I decided to start the 5th grade math mission. And as you can see, it says, do you want a personalized 5th grade experience? And then it asks you to start the mission. And when that happens, as I was saying earlier, it gives you a quick diagnostic. It's talking about the warm-up, which is the diagnostic just in a friendlier term. A warm-up sounds a lot better than diagnostic to a student. And then it gives you questions here. And this one has 6 questions that it wants you to ask. And like I said, you can answer them the best of your ability. If you're not sure, you can click, I haven't learned this yet. I'd like a hint. And then it also shows videos. So if you want to spend the time to learn about it before, you can. I'm going to just click on I want a hint. And then it says we can move a length of 1/8 over the number 5 times. So it's just talking, and then you would drag whatever your answer is, and then you check it. And I actually got that one correct.
Yay!
Nice job.
Because I am as smart as a 5th grader, at least for this one. Now it has the next one, and I'm just going to randomly click on answers just to speed this up. And I did not get that one right. So I can say, I haven't learned that yet. I can try that math problem again. I can ask for a hint. It puts it in a different format. Maybe that was just, I've never seen it that way, but maybe I'm used to doing it this way. But I can still, I haven't learned that one yet. And oh boy, that's a big number. So I'm just going to say I haven't learned that one yet either. Maybe this is the beginning of the school year, so I shouldn't have learned this stuff yet, right?
Are the videos accessible right now?
They are. I can click on a video. It starts playing right now. We're not hooked up to audio, but this is classic Khan Academy, where they show like a blackboard. There's a teacher talking as they're describing the lesson or the skill, and then if you want to spend the time watching that beforehand, you can.
So with Khan Academy, anyone has access to it. You can learn anything from 1st grade math to calculus to physics to practice the SAT to practice the GRE. So if you want to help your child, if you want to help yourself learn, Khan Academy is a great way. So let's go back to that district list again and take a look at some of the other items that are there. My On Reading is something that a lot of schools have access to. I wanted to scroll down to the
Florida students.
The Florida students. Oh, well, on our way, let's mention Learn to Type. You know, the FSA, students, it's done online now, the reading and the writing. And so you might be able to write just fine, you might be able to read just fine, but if you can't type, you're going to have a problem.
Yes, that's true.
So practice typing would be a great thing to practice at home, which isn't really going to tie down anyone's math skills, right?
And before we move on along the same lines, the website just above that Florida Standards Assessment will actually give a student an opportunity to test in the very format that they'll test on the FSA that's actually associated with the FSA. So there's a practice test where they can drag and drop. We've often said in English classrooms that we don't want kids to not do well on the test because they have the digital limitations. They have the thinking, but they don't know actually how to make the screen work or highlight the information properly. So
of course, teachers do work with students on that during their class time, but for students that may need extra practice, and particularly with the typing. And then the Florida students, let's take a look at that one. Tell us about what we can find there.
FloridaStudents.org is associated with CPOMS, and that is, I think that was a nonprofit project that lots of, every county, I think, in the state of Florida worked on it, and it collected our standards, the LAF standards. And I suppose there's something else for math there.
So you said laugh.
Yes,
I don't know what that means.
Language Arts Florida Standards.
Oh, okay.
So they're very closely associated to the Common Core for us, but slightly different, some minor changes.
It's the Florida version.
Yes, it's the Florida version. So when you look at floridastudents.org, what you're able to do is, this is a website that's designed specifically for students, and it has tutorial lessons, which include, much like Khan Academy, and if you'll select Language Arts, we can maybe look at one. The lessons have explicit instruction, they have guided practice, they have assessments. It goes through each and every standard. This is an example of what the standards are. So if you look at your data in Portal, or your teacher's done some work with you to show you where your deficiencies are, you can go here and do some very particular work.
Yeah,
So for people that don't always talk about standards,
Yes.
Let's translate just a little bit more. Let's just give an example of an English language arts standard for a fifth grader.
Okay, so the first letters, when you're looking at your standards, LAFS stands for what we talked about already, Language Arts Florida Standards. The next thing you're going to see is the grade band. That's the grade that your child's in. In this case, it's fifth grade. If you get, say, to 9th and 10th grade, it'll say 9, 10 there. So that's how you determine what grade your child's in. The next letter is I guess it's the category that they're broken into. So in English, we have language standards. Those are the ones that are about grammar and editing. We have reading informational text, and 70% of the FSA focuses on reading informational text. Then that would be an RI. You'll see an RL for reading literary text. You can see an S for speaking and listening standards, all the standards. So that letter focuses on the area, and if you look at the test blueprint, which the teachers are more familiar with, you'll be able to figure out exactly where you work.
So you said something that I think is really important. I want to go back and highlight. You said that 70% of the test is reading informational text.
Yes,
So if we want to improve our chances on doing well on the test, well, how do we get better at reading informational text?
Well, that's going to take us to our next resource, but let's finish with this one, Newsela, which is a new addition to our page coming soon.
Okay, well, let's go there now, because
Okay.
we can see where we are. Newsela will be on our page real soon. Newsela.
Newsela, that's right. I like to call it Newsela, but it's actually called Newsela. So Newsela is a resource that is free, and it's very simple to use. You basically click an article and begin work. There are a couple ways that you can navigate it. Obviously, it brings up the article of the day. So let's scroll down a little and pick something a lot more fun. Like, how about that bearded dragon? And let's look at a science article, which is an informational text article. So here at Newsela, all the articles are informational text.
Well, I would think that a 7th grade boy, that's going to get their attention.
Oh, yes, and you can see over here to
Got
the
my
right.
attention.
Yeah, over here to the right, if you'll scroll through the reading, the RI, the SRI we used to call it, but the Lexile level. So you're able to change the Lexile level. If we look down at the lowest Lexile level for this text, 450, that's going to be approximately 3rd grade, early 4th grade reading. All the way up to the 1060, this article is going to go up to about a 9th grade reading level.
And you can see how the title changed. Look at the title.
Oh,
It says,
look
which
at
animals
that.
pass gas?
As opposed to
Yes,
flatulence.
flatulence,
And then
right.
when we put the Lexile level up top,
Yes.
it changes the
Yeah,
title.
and probably the word count. Notice how it went to 951 words from 350 words. And that this particular company has worked very hard at making sure that they are having students practice at the proper rigor to pass those, I guess, the state assessment tests.
So they're getting the information, the science information here.
They are.
But they're able to get it at whatever level they're reading at and start practicing there.
Yes, and the way they would begin practicing is hitting the quiz button, and it's going to give them a series of questions associated with the text.
Okay.
And you can see that they'll, based on the article, which of the following is true. And it even tells you anchor 1, so the standard other letters that we didn't get to, it's dealing with a cluster 1 question, the key ideas and details. That will change. Oh, nice, see? It tells you what the standard is that it's focused on.
Nice.
And this is focused more on the Common Core standards, but they are very similar to our ELA standards, so you won't have any issues as your children work with Common
And
Core
once again, when you
resources.
say ELA,
Yes,
English Language Arts.
Teacher speak, right?
And I did notice there on our list, we also had the opportunity to read it in Spanish.
Yes, and that's a fantastic thing. In fact, if you don't mind, Dennis, can we go select the button that says Text Sets at the top next to News Good? And here you can go to Featured Text Sets. And I want you to look here. You can narrow your choices in a few different ways over here to the left of the screen. You can either select by grade level, and those are the proper grade bands. You can select reading skills. This is where you're going to get a picture of all the standards. So if you know exactly where your child needs some extra support, you can select any of those standards, and it's going to retrieve text sets that particularly ask questions about those standards. Also, if you bring that up, you'll see language. If you were looking for text only in Spanish, you can do the same thing. And here it'll only give back articles that are also available in Spanish.
And so what is a text set?
So one of the things that happens on the FSA is that the students, particularly with the writing portion of the test, they have to read multiple texts on a similar topic, and they have to answer, it's usually a reading question that they're writing about, and it's going to be either an informational essay that they'll write, or it's going to be an argument essay that they'll write. So what Newsela has tried to do is provide students the opportunity to read multiple texts on the same topic. And you probably noticed when we were in one of the text sets, and you can select any of these, and I
This
can
is
show
a
you
text
again.
set here.
Okay, so if you'll select any of those articles quickly, you're going to see to your right, as soon as it comes up the right button, the word right.
Oh, yes.
Yes, there you go. And that gives you a sample prompt. This is going to be a short paragraph writing. It's not graded by anybody. It just gives the opportunity for a student to look at what kind of a question might be asked in essay format.
So if you're working with your child at home, and you could access this, and you could get an idea for where your child is writing. You don't have to be an English teacher.
That's true.
To see and have the child really write, and then to me, I think one of the best things is to have the child read back to you what they have written.
Yes.
Because at that point, they're able to make their own corrections. Typically, it's stronger educational practice than you pointing out what they did wrong.
And certainly the key element here is, did they answer the question? And I think as a parent and a guardian, we can look and see if they're writing on prompt, we call it. They're answering what's been asked of them.
So it's amazing. Newsela, Khan Academy, and Florida students.
Yes.
All these are resources that are free.
Yes.
And really everyone in Pinellas County has access to these things. And I think that we need to do a better job of getting the word out and having people understand what is available to them. And it really takes a lot of the mystery out of it. So I really appreciate the work that you all are doing to help us nail this stuff down, and the work you're doing to help high schoolers read better, the work you're doing to help schools think about how to personalize learning for students. And there's a lot of exciting things that are made available through digital learning resources. So Beyond the Classroom on the district website will let everyone know where to go to it. And I hope that you will join us again for the next digital learning session.